So let's talk about what is UTM tracking in Google Analytics. First, what does UTM stand for? It stands for Urchin Tracking Module, which of course, how does that relate to Google Analytics? Basically, it's the thing that Google purchased and kind of took over and kind of morphed into what they then called Google Analytics. So UTM now is just really an acronym, but technically, if you want to know what it stands for, that's what it stands for. The key is tracking. So what is an example of a UTM tracking? Well, first of all, again, these are things you put on URLs. So they're usually links that you have to other websites that then link to your website. And in order to track where they came from, you put some additional information in the URL so that you can figure this out. So an example here would be, first you have a domain name like you normally would in a URL, but then you'll actually add some extra things after a question mark. So you have question mark UTM_source. Then you can actually write the name. In this case, they just called it summer-mailer. Then you have UTM_medium. Medium is where is it coming from? What is it? So in this example, email, but you could have web or basically whatever you'd like. And then finally, campaign, which is really more of, again, the name. So again, UTM tracking uses URL parameters that start with UTM, and then different parameters, source, medium, and campaign in this example. So why do you want to use UTM tracking? Okay, so the real reason to do this is if you just put a link on another website, whether that's a site you own, an advertisement, a link on a directory or whatever, when somebody clicks on that, they come to your website. Now, Google Analytics by itself will have some information about, say, referral. So yeah, that link came from Facebook, or that link came from Google Organic, i.e. the Google search engine, or paid, and then you might know. But by using UTM tracking, you can actually get much more granular and know exactly where it is, because again, you can create those different parameters, and thus when you look at it, you know exactly where that link came from. And again, the parameters are source, which again is something like location. So it could be Facebook, could be Twitter. If you're using social media, it could be email, maybe your email provider. The medium is the kind of thing that it comes from. So these are more generic, such as web, email, things like that. Campaign is when you can really just get truly unique and give it a name of what your campaign is. There are a couple other parameters that do get used. Term. This one was used more if you have a specific keyword that you want, and it's used, say, for example, if you're using Google AdWords, some term information is sent through. And content, and that's just another one you can get, like it's a campaign, but it's specific content. The key is the source, medium, and campaign are required values, so you need to use those. So again, those are the three values. It is very important to standardize because the UTM parameters are case sensitive. So email, but email with a capital E, that would be different. And so you just need to make sure to do these on a very consistent, case sensitive manner. And again, you need to use those three required fields. So some conclusions about UTM tracking for Google Analytics. Again, UTM just stands for Urchin Tracking Module, but just think of it as standing for tracking. The reason you want to use this is that way you can determine exactly where the link that you placed was clicked that had that visitor come to your website. Again, there are a number of parameters you can use to control the data coming through, so you can do that. And again, how to use it, you actually just add these parameters to the end of a URL that you want to then come to your website, and then that information gets passed into Google Analytics.